This painting was inspired by a friend of mine, Alan, who lives out in Crete, in Galini, and we often discuss the landscape, etc. And he told me for 2 days a year, the sea looks black as though it's like an oil slick. And sometimes it looks yellow. And I was intrigued by this, so I did a rough sketch, painterly sketch, looking from the top of the cliff on the bay where we go swimming, and painted the sea black to see what would happen. And it seemed to work. I have never seen the real thing yet. This was just made up. This is the great rock at Matala, where the Romans used to have their sarcophagi inside the caves. It's the place where the hippies lived in the early 60s, and is where Joni Mitchell wrote Carrie, you're a mean old daddy, but I like you. We can see Galini in the distance, so it's all the places I love to go and see, although I don't go so much here now as it's become a little bit touristy. But the rock is magnificent, and the views are that's 15 miles across the sea. And I just was interested. This is really perhaps the first of getting interested in textures, although I didn't develop this one. It's stayed more photographic as my work was in those days. We saw magnificent waves in Matala, and this idea was using a very old frame, using the frame as part of the painting, and just trying to get movement, and this confinement to the frame and movement, that was sort of two opposites. Every photograph has a border around it. It's always been an interest in my life. So we got a frame within a frame, the wave bursting out of the frame. All these little things change things. I think this is a very early painting I did in Norwich. This will be about 71 or something like 74. That. 74. And I was doing sort of hillscapes and doing variations of them. I did a lot of these, 40 or 50, I expect. And that took me about 2 or 3 years or more. And then I went to Greece in 77 and saw the real thing, and that was the end of that series.